Vince said, young man, congratulations on winning your national championship. Are you ready for showbiz? And Brock Lesnar looked him right in the eye. He said, I've been ready all my life.
You also were instrumental in discovering Brock Lesnar and bringing him to WWE, if I'm not mistaken. Did you imagine that he would become the biggest box office attraction, not just in WWE, but also in the UFC?
Sure enough, a week after Brock won the national title, that night he won the national title, my phone rang off the hook. Brisco, do you see this guy? He's a senior now. Brisco, you seen this? I mean, Vince called him, JR called him, everybody, Bruce called him, everybody called him, wanting to know what I've done. And I wasn't even a talent scout at the time. There wasn't a talent scout in the WWE. I was just a guy that knew some guy, knew his coaches. And so, but they were relying on me to recruit this guy. And like I said, I wasn't an official talent scout at the time. So I was a jack of all trades. So I waited a couple of days, and he won the title on Saturday night. On Sunday, they're both, Vince and JR, both called me, have you contacted the guy yet? No, I haven't. After these guys win a national title, after that national tournament is through, it's like any other season ending. The athletes are going to go out and they're going to party for a couple of days and kind of get the chill off. So I knew that going in because my brother had won the title and he disappeared for a week. Nobody saw him, because nobody could conduct business with him for a week. And the same with Brock. Brock just disappeared. He went out to some farm. That week finished up, and I had probably 20 phone calls from everybody ever higher up in the WWE. So the following Monday, I'm sitting in Brisco Brothers Body Shop, world famous Brisco Brothers Body Shop. And my phone rings, and it's Coach Jay Robinson, University of Minnesota. He said, Brisco, he said, I told you I'd call you. He said, I got Brock Lesnar sitting here in my office. And he said, I got another surprise for you. And you got to take them both there, package deal. And I said, oh, yeah, who's the other guy? He said his workout partner, Sheldon Benjamin. Well, I'd known Sheldon from seeing him on TV a little bit, too. So they're both sitting in the coach's office. So not only did Coach Jay keep his word about Brock, but he brought a bonus in for my patient to me keeping my word, and Sheldon Benjamin, brought him in. So I'm sitting there talking to the both of them, and just as luck would have it, about a month later in Minneapolis, WWE was coming there with a pay-per-view, and Vince was going to be there, and the entire staff was going to be there for the pay-per-view. So I set up a meeting with Jay, bring them down to the Target Center there in downtown Minneapolis. Backstage, you guys you guys are VIPs for the weekend there. And he said, great, I'll have them both there. So we go to Minnie, and everybody, I'm getting questions. What time they get here? When they get here? When they get here? And sometimes they go long. With this particular production meeting, just happened to go 3-4 hours. It was one of those long days of production office. So as soon as I get out, I go to the back, I go to the production office, and they said, Brisco, you got 3 guests here. So I look over, and there's Coach Jay, and there's Sheldon, and there's Brock. So I go over, we BS a little bit. So I introduce them all the guys. I don't introduce them to Vince because Vince, during a pay-per-view day and TV day, he's so ultra busy that he's not in a good mood, and he's not a good guy to introduce to somebody right, in the course of business. So we kind of laid a low profile. So here's getting close to showtime. I walk more closer to the gorilla position to get ready to go to work, and I bring Brock and Jay over there, and I'm leaning on one of those big backstage loading boxes, and we're all sitting there BSing, laughing and joking about college wrestling and all this stuff. About the time Vince is getting ready to go to the grill position. Vince, during those days, like I say, his mind is one track during pay-per-view days and TV days. He don't have time for bullshit. He don't have time for meet and greets or anything. But I see him walking. All of a sudden, I know Vince's habits. I know his movements. All of a sudden, I see out of the corner of his eye, he's looking over. And Brock has on one of those tight T-shirts with that tight T-shirt pulled real tight in the bicep. And his bicep looks like this. I mean, it looks huge. And Vince can't resist a good bicep. So he looks at the kid, and he got that power walk that he don't want anybody to bother with. You've seen these big executives when they're doing that power work. Leave me alone. You got that body language. All of a sudden, he just dead stops in his tracks, turns, walks over, grabs Brock's hand, shakes it, and And Vince McMahon, he turns to Brock, and Brock has one of the greatest answers I've ever heard one of these kids say for a kid just coming out of college. And Vince said, "Young man, congratulations on winning your national championship. Are you ready for showbiz?" And Brock Lesnar looked him right in the eye. He said, "I've been ready all my life for showbiz."
Wow.
And boom! What an answer to give the boss, And I see that smile come on Vince and said, "Yeah, I'm gonna kick ass." He said, "I'm ready for show business all my life." And that smile came on Vince. That was really, to me, where it showed Vince that this guy is ready to do business, wants to do business. So Vince, we go and do the deal. So Monday, Vince and I get together, and he said, "What's it going to take?" And I said, "I don't know. That's JR's department there. I got the guy here. Now you guys do your job." And there was resistance. I know what Brock was asking for, a lot of money. And looking back, it seems kind of silly with the numbers. I mean, he's just looking for six-figure number to sign on him, which is, nowadays it's almost ridiculous, 6 figures. But he was looking for 6 figures. And back in there, and I was getting complaints from the guy, the budget guy, that this guy's going to kill our entire, training, our developmental budget with one guy, and I kept telling him, "Hey, he'll make you more money than that. Just, overlook this 1 year. This guy is one of those guys that come along once in a lifetime." And sure enough, he was. And so they threw all that stuff aside and said, "Okay, let's figure out what it's going to cost and how we can manipulate it into our budget." And those guys, they figured that out, and they finally come to agreement with Brock. And it was probably a 2-3 month relationship negotiation period back and forth. But they signed a deal, and off to OVW, Sheldon and Brock Lesnar went. And man, we got 2 giant superstars out of that one little handshake with Jay Robinson.
What a great story. Thank you for sharing that.